Hi everyone, I come back on to speak to you all about my TTC journey or lack thereof. We still have 8 embryos that we have frozen that we're paying to have stored. Um, I don't know if I want to have another baby. A while back, like mid-June or what have you, Layla and my husband and I had sat down and talked about having another baby. Layla really wanted a sibling, and I was all for it. And then I decided I don't know if I necessarily want to be pregnant again. I think I still have the fear of what happened with Layla happening again with my next child, and um, that was a little heart wrenching. With the whole situation with Layla, we literally almost lost Layla, and the whole NICU thing. We was there for 7 weeks. It was just really tasking and really hard. And then, I'm a diabetic, so I was really wondering if if I was the cause of my child being the way she was, or way she was born, rather. Now, don't get me wrong, everything came out for the best. God was on our side. He blessed us dearly with this wonderful little girl that we have now. And she's very smart, she's very articulate. She's the light of our life. But with that being said, everything else that went along with getting her to that point was kind of hard for me. Would I trade it in for anything? No. But that being said, still, that it was kind of hard for me to swallow. And one of the biggest things was what caused it. The doctors kept saying they don't know what contributed to it. And I was afraid that I was the common factor. And my diabetes or what have you was a common factor of that happening to her and the way she was born. If you're new to my channel, which I don't have that many followers, but by some chance, or if you're new to my channel, my daughter was born with something called Pierre Robin. Basically, she was born with a short jaw. Her frenulum didn't grow to attach her tongue to the bottom of her mouth. She had a U-shaped cleft palate, and we were in a NICU for 7 weeks, like 7.5 weeks, because of it. She had to have a surgery where they broke her jaw, had to adjust it so that the bone can fill in that area, and then take the adjustment screws out so that her tongue can lay flat in her mouth. Um, when we first had her, they had to keep her in a prone position at all times because they needed to keep that tongue to stay forward. If she ever laid back um, on her back, her tongue could have suffocated her. So, and when um, about 2 weeks after she was born, they had to rush her to Children's Hospital because she couldn't. Um, we couldn't keep her. They couldn't keep her oxygen levels up anymore. Basically, she was. If they would have kept her any longer, she would have died. And then on the flight to Children's Hospital, we didn't take the flight with her. I drove to Children's. So by the time we got there, they explained to me during that flight she had then had a seizure. They almost lost her, all that stuff. So it's like God has given us blessings with this child. Has blessed us tremendously. She's a very active little girl. If you were to see her, you would never even know that all this stuff was happening. If I don't tell you, you wouldn't know. Um, but still, with that being said, me having another baby and that possibly happening again, it's frightening to me. So I really don't know if we should have another baby. Um, but like I said, I have 8 embryos frozen, and I'm afraid. I don't want to. I'm not gonna say I'm afraid. I don't want to discard them or necessarily donate them to science because of the fact that to a certain extent, I feel like that's aborting my children because they're already embryos. Now, don't get me wrong, we will never implant 8 embryos back into me. Even if we were to do it 4 times, that's 5 kids. I'm not trying to have 5 children. Maybe 2, maybe 3, and that's if we were to get twins this second chance, this second go around. I'm not necessarily trying to have all those kids. Okay, understand? Good, but I think that I might want to adopt a kid or maybe foster adopt, um, because I still feel that my child needs a sibling or someone to play with on a daily, other than me and her dad. So I'm thinking about going ahead and just doing the foster care adopting. There are a lot of kids in this world who don't have parents or don't have someone to love them. And I have a lot of love to go around. I'm just afraid of what my body may do to my next child. It may not do anything. And I've heard that before. Don't be fearful. You can't, you know, say what's going to happen with this pregnancy or this child compared to what happened to your first child. So, I mean, I get that a lot, but I still worry about the whole situation. So that's where we're at with that. We'll give you further updates on our TTC journey. Have a blessed night and Merry Christmas once again.